Today, we're introducing the concept of torque. A familiar tool that takes advantage of torque is a wrench. Torque always requires an axis of rotation. When using a wrench, our axis of rotation is the nut which we're trying to tighten or loosen. There are two quantities that are important when calculating torque. R, which is the distance from the force to the axis of rotation, and then the force that is perpendicular to R. In this picture, my purple force there, my purple vector, that is already perpendicular to R. If R and F are perpendicular to each other, then we calculate the torque by multiplying them. R times F, where R is in meters and F is the force in newtons. Let's suppose I grabbed the wrench really close to the nut and applied a force, which I'm going to show with the yellow vector in that direction. I could calculate the torque. It would be the force of that yellow vector times the distance from where that yellow vector is located to the nut. Let's suppose it was really stuck on or rusted and it just wouldn't budge. I could move my hand down further along the wrench and apply the same force where I have the new vector drawn, the gray vector. And applying the same force a further distance from the axis of rotation is going to cause greater torque. What about the situation where my force isn't perpendicular to R? What about the situation where it's at an angle, the force is at an angle with respect to R that isn't 90 degrees? In this situation, we're going to take that force vector and break it into two components. The component that's parallel to R and the component that is perpendicular to R. The parallel component doesn't do anything to cause rotation. Think about it. That vector that I just drew in, the green vector, would just pull the wrench off of the nut. It's not going to cause rotation. Whenever we encounter a force that is not perpendicular to R, we're going to need to break it down into its components and calculate the perpendicular component based on looking at the triangle. In this particular situation, the perpendicular force is opposite the given angle theta, so we will use sine.